Hi, it's Erika Larsson. Welcome back. This is my final video, my fourth video on the challenges that the four personality styles face. So today we're going to start with the supporters, and one of their challenging areas in their life is being a doormat and being used by other people. They're so kind and they put other people first, and they love to nurture and care for people, and people take advantage of them because of that. And so they need to practice setting healthy boundaries. There's a book called Boundaries. They need to read it to make sure that people aren't using them as a doormat. Another area of challenge is sacrificing honesty for harmony and withholding unpleasant information to avoid hurting others' feelings. So if they learn something, they won't say, or they'll withhold or tell what they call a white lie because it might hurt them after all. And so they need to practice avoiding lies to save face, realizing they're not responsible for other people's feelings and how they take in the information. An area of challenge for them is dealing with details instead of ignoring them. They need to practice enrolling people to help that can help with the details, because they really are not detailed people. They can be, but it can stress them out because they're all about taking care of the people. And they'll take care of the people details, but not like if they sit at a desk and have a desk job and stuff like that. So that can be a challenge for them. And finally, disciplining children or staff, especially if they have to fire an employee, is a big challenge for them. They don't even like to discipline their own children because then they might cry or they might get upset and they might not love them, and they're all about nurturing relationships, right? So they need to practice leadership, doing what they know is right without guilt. And I said finally, but I have one more. Ignoring their own needs to help others who request their help. They might feel like their plate is so full, but because they struggle with saying yes to everything that's asked of them because they want to make everybody happy, they need to practice not allowing others to project guilt or emotions to get their way on them, from them. Doing one thing a week for themselves that they want to do, like fishing or massage or reading or walking, will really help. All right, so the promoters. They are challenged by reading how-to manuals or instructions. And they need to practice enrolling someone to read the instructions. Just face it, they're never going to read instructions, or they'll skim through it, bullet point, right? And so they can enroll someone to do that for them while they do the hands-on application. That's a win-win for everybody, but that is a big challenge for them. Silence or sitting still is a huge challenge for a promoter. So they need to practice being quiet and still and relaxed. And getting antsy from lack of physical movement. They need physical movement. They need to go to the gym or go for a walk or go for a bike ride or do some physical activity. But they need to practice getting physical movement on a consistent basis. That will help with that antsy feeling that they get. A challenge for them is exaggerating or making things sound larger than life or more appealing than they are, because that makes for an interesting story, right? So they need to practice sticking to the facts without embellishing them to make the story more exciting. They are natural storytellers, but just stick to the facts. Another challenge for the promoters are people who are slow in their actions, movement, speech, or thinking, because they process faster than all the other three styles. Just boom, boom, boom. They're on it. They get it. That's why they need bullet point format for everything. But they can practice learning to appreciate other personality styles that process differently and need more time. They struggle with the thinkers because the thinkers, quite often you'll tell them something and they'll just pause and think before they speak. Whereas the promoters, just everything is verbalized. So it's a real challenge for them. Planners. What happened here? Sorry about this. Planners, there we go. I pushed the wrong button. Okay, planners. An area of challenge for them is change. They hate change. If something works, why change it? I had an employee like this, and she ate the same lunch every day for years. And finally one day I said, don't you get tired of the same lunch? And she said, no, it just works. So they need to practice accepting that change is inevitable and often very good. A challenge for them is being bossy, sounding bossy. They come across very bossy and controlling. And an area of challenge is not bossing people around, being a team player. Another area of challenge is being overly loyal to a company, thinking they won't survive without them. Now, loyalty is one of their gifts. They're very, very loyal, but not where, you can be replaced. We all know this today. We can all be replaced. So they need to practice believing that other people are just as capable as they are. Acting like they are the authority on everything, telling people what to do and how to do it, is another challenge for them. So they need to practice treating people with respect, making requests rather than demands. That's how you turn that around. It's okay to get people to do things, but not in a bossy way. Another challenging area for the planner personality style is creating a win-win with people. So they need to practice working to create that with people rather than I'm right and you're wrong, which is a win-lose. And that comes with maturity for these people, because they usually are right, but other people don't take kindly to, being told you're wrong about this and you're wrong about that. And so just soften it a bit by making requests, and that will help. And then finally, let's take a look at the thinkers. They are challenged. Their humor often is at the expense of other people. And so being more sensitive and accepting of their humor is rare, and not that their humor is rare, and they need to practice and accept that it's not accepted by other people or appreciated by other people. So they need to practice to just kind of soften that and not do it at the expense of others. Another challenge for them is fitting in instead of feeling like an outsider. Because they're so highly intellectual, they feel like an outsider quite often. So they can practice engaging with others, learning the 4 personality styles, and then mirroring the behavior of others will help them. Another challenge for thinkers is people that don't share their intellect. Valuing and accepting others. Learning about the 4 personality styles is so valuable for them, because then you can just hone in on the gifts of others. And trust me, you're not going to have the gifts that they have. And correcting people's grammar and speech. Big challenge for them, because I call them the grammar Nazis. They're very good at, they read more than the other personality styles and taking information at a pretty rapid pace. So correcting people's grammar, people don't take kindly to that. So you can practice only doing so when people solicit your help. How do you spell something? Or how to, is the sentence right? Then you can do it. And of course, they don't do it to annoy you. They do it because they think it'll help you. You can do it to them. Chances are you wouldn't, but because they're really good at grammar and spelling. But if you ever did, they would probably thank you and say, oh, great, okay, yeah, I didn't see that. Now I know. And finally, procrastinating is a challenge for them. They have so much going on in their head that often they procrastinate, or they get stuck in that roundabout analysis paralysis. And so they need to practice trusting that they have enough data or information to get the job done or make the decision at hand. Just do it. It was created by Nike for the thinkers. Just do it. And that is all that I have on the challenges that the 4 personality styles face. There's much more in my book. It gets into nitty-gritty details about everything about them in my Live Out Loud book and in my Winning in Business book. Both of them have lots of information about challenging areas and how to deal with that, and all about the 4 personalities, so that you can create really meaningful relationships with the people that you're surrounded by. So thanks for checking in. I hope you'll come back and watch many more of my videos because they are done almost on a weekly basis.